President Biden addressed growing economic concerns during a press conference Wednesday, marking his first year in office. The president said his administration plans to fight the high rate of inflation by unclogging supply chains, tackling unfair competition, and getting his Build Back Better plan passed in Congress. But a new CBS News poll finds a majority of Americans believe the Biden administration is not focusing enough on tackling the issues surrounding the economy and inflation. John Leer joins me now for more. He's the chief economist at Morning Consult. John, thanks for being here. So during President Biden's first year in office, GDP, employment, and wages all went up. But we're feeling this economic strain through inflation. So explain to us how a growing economy interacts with inflation.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Lana. So, inflation is essentially too little goods and services being chased after by too much money. So what we have right now is very strong consumer demand, persistently elevated consumer demand that's really focused on those durable goods. So you can think about automobiles, these large purchases that people are making that have been disproportionately affected by supply chain disruptions. And because there isn't that supply to meet the demand, that's why we're seeing a lot of those, elevated prices and inflation.
So tell us how U.S. wages are trying to keep pace with inflation, and are they doing okay in certain industries, falling behind in other areas?
Thus far, we've seen fairly rapid wage growth at the lower end of the income spectrum, which is really encouraging. That's what you want to see early on in the early phases of a sort of a wage recovery. I'm a little less optimistic that wage growth is going to continue, particularly as more and more low-wage workers come back and start looking for work, which we're starting to see already in some of our sort of preliminary data, and I would expect we continue to see that over the next few months.
And John, what do you make of the Biden administration's response to the rate of inflation? Is it enough to combat what we've seen as really record inflation numbers?
I think when you think about the Biden administration, you got to think about what exactly can the White House do to fight inflation. And I would say first and foremost, they can appoint credible, thoughtful leaders to run the Federal Reserve, and then give those leaders the independence that they need. And thus far, I think the Biden administration has done that. Renominating Chairman Powell for a second term was a crucial step. And then on top of that, granting the Federal Reserve the independence that they need to potentially raise interest rates.
As you mentioned, the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, he was at a Senate confirmation hearing just last week where he reiterated the central bank's preparation in anticipation of raising interest rates at least 3 times in order to offset inflation. Explain to all of us how this would work and how it would affect our day-to-day lives.
And so I would expect starting in March and continuing throughout the course of the year, we'll start to see the Federal Reserve not only raise interest rates, but also decrease their asset purchases, which over time should make it slightly more expensive for companies to borrow money. And that in turn acts as sort of a headwind for growth in the economy, thereby slowing down the rate of inflation. I think from the perspective of consumers right now, this actually could be a good thing that, fighting inflation is going to give the economy the sort of stability that it needs to maintain the growth that we started to see coming out of the pandemic, not just through the end of this year, but further on into the future.
People are certainly looking for more stability in all aspects of their lives. So tell us, when might Americans realistically start to see prices and inflation levels go down?
Well, the bad news is that I don't think prices are likely to come down anytime soon. The price increases, particularly in some of these staple goods, are likely to remain elevated for this foreseeable future. Hopefully, wage gains end up essentially counterbalancing those price increases. On the inflation front, inflation is going to be measures that change in prices over time, and I think we'll start to see that inflation pressure ease at the end of the first quarter as we're looking at the rate of price growth in March of 2022 relative to March 2021 when prices were already elevated. So I think we're not that far away from starting to see inflation ease, but prices are likely to remain elevated.
Yeah, all right. John Leer, thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.